And that's why I said I never said I was going to quit drinking forever. I just want to make sure that I want to do the 30 days. And then I know I'm clean.
Can you fucking hear me now?
Hey, there he is. Hi, Ralph.
God fucking damn motherfucker!
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. And I was
Sorry.
like, and then I was like, yeah, Ralph. And then Ralph was like, nah, just 15 minutes. Don't worry. It took 25 to get you on.
Sorry. Okay, you know what? Rib me if you want, but I could not do anything about it except restart the fucking computer. So, like, I'm sorry, everybody here. I know about maybe 50, 60% like me here, and the other 40, 30% hate me.
That's fine.
Okay.
I get. Your audience is about the same ratio. Like I go in, most of them are cool, and then some of them are like, take. Oh, yeah. I know.
So I do apologize. That was not my intention. The only thing I could do was restart the fucking computer. My God, fine. You know what? Turn it off and turn it back on. Works every fucking time. It's unbelievable.
Just before you get wound up, because I know you're gonna go off, I'm gonna just real quick, K-Rads. I want to thank K-Rads who just donated $5. He said, "Hey Mersh, I know you hate when people send sad stuff and dampen the mood, but gravity. Sorry to bring things down. See, it was a dad joke.
Gravity.
Nice dad joke. So you're alive.
Yeah.
You sound pumped.
Alive. You know, you have no idea, Mersh. And I'm not gonna tell it all right now, but I went to Colombia. That was the easy part of my journey, and then I went to Tijuana. And you know, the fuckheads, you know, Harry Morris and all these people. They're like, well, Ralph, you know, skipped out on his first visit with my son. Actually, no, I went there at like 1 o'clock thinking I was going to get through in 30 minutes, and I didn't. And the mother of my son is a fill in the blank. And so she gave me 20 minutes to get across. I couldn't get across. Regardless, I got across on the second day. My son is a joy. He looks just like me, except he's even funnier than me. And I had a great visit with him on Sunday, and he almost made me cry. I don't want to bring the mood down, but he didn't want to leave, and we were having a great time. And then things went downhill from there. And so I won't go into not.
Did you find your phone?
No.
God damn.
But like, I nothing to do with him, but I went and I had an argument with a person named Lynx. I don't know if you know that person.
Yeah. The chick with the nice tits. So you guys aren't friends anymore?
Nah, she can burn in hell for all
Jesus, that escalated.
So like, the reason is she just blocked me like an hour ago. She kept sending me messages about like who took her channel down. I'm like, I mean, basically, I don't give a fuck. You know, you blame me publicly, you trash me publicly. Why do I give a fuck who took your channel down? Like you intimated that it might be me, publicly and privately, that took your channel down. So I don't give a fuck if your channel stays down, if you stay down, if you fucking choke to death on a dick. I really don't give a fuck what the fuck happens to you, bitch. And so
wouldn't it be more likely that Keemstar went after her because he's a snitch? He's the YouTube snitch.
Knows that, right? Like, and you know, I feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm just too nice. I guess. You know, if I'm sweet on a girl or whatever, I'll be nice to them. And so they take advantage of that. I was in Colombia. Hunter Moore heard a voice message from her. And, you know, his friend TJ heard it. And he said, man, she's playing you. She's going to turn on you. And, you know, Hunter Moore basically invented revenge porn and all this.
He's a pioneer.
So, yeah, he's a pioneer. Like, you know who I'm talking about. And so he said, man, she's playing you. And I'm like, I don't want to believe that. Da, da, da. So she came on my show that Monday that I was in Colombia. I told her to go. I shouldn't do this, Merge, because I usually disavow this. But, you know, I figured if Keem can write kayfabe, I can write kayfabe a lot better than Keem because I'm a 35-year-old wrestling, 35 years worth of wrestling fandom. I said, I can do kayfabe better than him. So I told her to come on there and lay it on me, right? And she did. And I thought it was funny. But if you watch the clip, you notice that I'm kind of like, I'm not perturbed. I'm playing it for laughs. And she kind of used that. I don't know. There are a lot of people in her ear to try to like cut me off or whatever, like that I'm controversial or this or that, even though I made her thousands of dollars. So like whatever. And so regardless, we have a little disagreement about that. And Hunter says just don't talk to her anymore. Like disassociate, don't talk to her, don't give her any more ammo. And he was right, honestly. And I should have took his advice.
Yeah,
But
these bitches are goofy, bro. She was recording Keemstar
like I made
back
her
when
a
she was like supposedly cool with the guy she was recording.
Keemstar's not gonna help her, dude. What the fuck? Like Keemstar's the one who got her channel taken down. Like what the fuck?
No. But what I'm talking about is back in the day when she was cool with him, she was already secretly recording the guy. So it's like, it's like these hoes.
Can't trust a bitch like that, and it was my fault.
That's why there's like literally almost no embarrassing DMs of me.
I don't know what to say, Mersh.
Dude, like as many times as these internet motherfuckers have tried to take me down, that's why there's really no like there's nothing on me, because like I've known for years better than to play these bitches games. If they're gonna send me their titties and shit, the best they're gonna get out of me is like, hell yeah, nice titties. But I'm not gonna. There's no DMs of me being like, I want to wedge my dick in between your butt cheeks. I want to drink your sweat, oh, like you know what I mean. Like there's just none of that. I don't get into that with these. I don't trust them.
A dick pic or anything like that, but she sent me, like nudes, more nudes, and more nudes, and she went back and deleted them off. Discord or whatever. Of course, I still have some of them. Whatever.
I grabbed them shits.
I'm not doing anything with them.
By the way, ladies, just understand this. I've never shared a nude in my life, and I never will. It's just a code of conduct that I personally hold. And if you send me nudes, and I will never share them with anybody.
Well,
but
I ain't gonna do it because I don't want to go to jail. I don't give a fuck.
Well, no. Even before it was a law, I never did that shit. But what I'm saying is, ladies, I'll never share your nudes. But if you send me nudes, I'm saving them shits. I'm gonna jack off to you 10 years from now.
Saved, like I mean I have them, so like her deleting them was just stupid, like whatever. Okay, it was an insult, right? And so it's like, okay, you delete them, okay, fine. And then she went out and said, oh, I'm not going on Ralph's show, and I was stranded. I won't go into the Tijuana story because that's its own arc, and that's gonna go into the book. And so I won't reveal what all happened, but it was a nightmare to get back to Merida. It was an absolute fucking nightmare without a phone, without any pesos, without any cards.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, I had to go to a fucking.
I don't even like being stuck in Tampa if my phone's missing and I have no cash on me. You know what I mean?
I had to go to. I'll tell you this part. I walked through Tijuana at 12 a.m. and I went to the San Ysidro crossing, which is not the usual crossing. I usually go to Otay. And so I got there and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And the guard said, hey, just hop on the trolley. Like they'll let you ride. They know you don't have any money, like whatever. And they did. And so I rode to the Otay crossing. I went back to the same fucking place, and Nady Bakes got me another ticket. And, I made it through. The mistake the first time, without getting into the particulars, when you walk into Tijuana, it's like another world, brother. And so, if I would have had 300 pesos, I could have just gotten into a taxi and no big deal, right? But like the first time I went through, I didn't get into a taxi because I didn't have any fucking money, and so I was just gonna walk to the airport. Well, that didn't work out, and I won't reveal everything that happened there. Eventually I will, but so anyway, I guess I'm kind of revealing it now, honestly. I got let out at midnight, and nothing, no, money, no phone, no nothing. I just walked towards San Diego, went to San Ysidro, then went and made it to Otay. And so I went back to Otay to that same fucking place, and they let me use the phone, and I got a ticket, and I said, "Hey, man, I need Western Union this time because like you can't walk. There's certain places you can walk through Tijuana. There's certain places you don't want to walk through Tijuana, right? And so when I went back across the second time, I said, "Hey, 300 pesos, okay, straight to the airport." The first time, that's not what happened, and some other things took place, and I won't go through that. But
All right, you got to give us something, Ralph, because we're getting is the taxi rides and the walk parts. You got to give the audience something.
I don't want to reveal
this
it.
motherfucker calls in and he's like, "All right, I got to tell you about Tijuana," and then every time there's some good shit, he's hitting the fast forward button.
Mersh, you're a smart guy. You can probably figure it out.
Oh, I know, but the audience is like, all right, so this is a story so far. So he's like, "Yeah, I went to go see my kid, right? And then I got to Tijuana, right? So I couldn't figure out if I could get a taxi, but then I was able to get a taxi. And then some stuff happened. And then fast forward to then I'm in a taxi again, and we're taking a taxi to the next taxi. And then some stuff happened I can't reveal.
I lost my phone. I missed my flight. And then I got across, and I had a flight booked, and I went through, but I didn't have any money. And so I said, okay, I'll just walk to the airport. Well, it turns out, this maybe, the Tijuana officers, the city officers, not the Guardia Nacional, the city police in Tijuana are crooked as fuck.
What? I wouldn't make allegations like that, dude.
Yeah, I know. You couldn't believe it. And so things happened, and I was delayed for 30 hours. I'll just say that. How about that? And they let me go at midnight, and this black guy's like, "I'm just gonna sit there." He's a gringo too. "I'm just gonna sit there at the bus stop." I said, "Nigga, I'm walking to fucking San Diego. I don't give a shit." And I'm walking through like gang territory and fucking, like people can't really understand it unless you do it. And so I walked to San Ysidro, but that's not my usual crossing. So I got to San Ysidro, like, I don't know, 8 Latinas sit at my table, and they all have phones, but like, what am I supposed to add? Like, they don't even speak English. Like, what am I supposed to say? "Hey, can I use your fucking Twitter to fucking," because I don't know anybody's number, right? "Can I use your Twitter to?"
Yeah, that's weird too if you don't have numbers.
Right. Like, I don't have numbers. So like, I'm just sitting there, and then I walked up to the guard, and he said, "Hey, just get on the trolley. They don't check that." He said, "Then you can get on the bus. You might get a ticket for that. Maybe not." So I got on the bus, and then I got off at the wrong spot. And I walked up to this motorcyclist, and I looked like shit. Like, my nose, they bust me in the nose and all this shit. And so he said, "Hey, you want this? You want a banana?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "Do you want 2 bananas?" I'm like, "Yeah." And not banana as in dick, but like banana as in like actual food. And
this sounds horrible so far.
Yeah, it's horrible. And so he gave me 2 bananas. I ate that shit quick as fuck. And then I got back to the bus, the bus stop, and I said, "Hey man, I got off in the wrong spot. I don't have any money. I do have money, but I have no way to access it, right?" And so I said, "Hey, can you just let me ride to the Otay Mesa crossing?" And he said, "Sure." Which is what the guards told me. He said, "You know what? If you just tell them honestly that you don't have any money and like you can't access it, they'll probably just let you ride." And so they did. And I went to the Otay Mesa crossing, went back to that same place that I was at on Monday, and Nady Bakes got me another ticket. And this time I said, you know, I not trying to squeeze him out of money, but I was like, like I need a Western Union. Like I can't go back to Tijuana and just walk through Tijuana. Like
Fuck no, dude.
yeah, that's not gonna work. And so as soon as I went into Tijuana the next time, 300 pesos, they took me straight to the airport, and it was all good. But you know, I looked like hell. Like it was a disaster. Medellin is much safer. Medellin, as they say in Colombia. It's not Medellin. It's Medellin in Colombia. But you know, I made it through. Got through the airport, and I'm back in Merida now. But yeah, it was like I had to walk an hour to fucking San Diego to the wrong crossing, but like I didn't give a fuck. I just had to get to America, right? And so like whatever. And I made it there, and then I took the trolley, took the buses, and got to Otay Mesa crossing, and you know, I made it through. I got back to that same place I was at on Monday. And I said, hey, you know, shit happened. I'm not gonna go into every single thing that happened, but like shit happened. I didn't make it, and so they let me use the phone again, and you know, Nettie Bakes bought me another ticket, and you know, I got back to Merida. So it was
Shout out to Nady Bakes for fucking
yeah, shout out to
being a
Nady
real one.
Bakes. Like he's a legend, dude. Look, dude, I'm telling you guys this. Like, I'm not trying to sound like hard or anything like that, but most motherfuckers would not. Like I was walking down the freeway in Tijuana through gang territory, and so because there was no other choice, right? And so it was insane. It was insane. I made it through. They robbed me for some of my shit, of course, because that's how they do. But you know, I'm still alive, and you know, I made it back through. I'm back in Merida, and so it was crazy. They didn't actually, you know, they didn't break my nose because if they did, I would be able to move it around, right? You know, when your nose is broken, you can like shift it
No, I
around.
know it's fucking horrible. I've
So
only had
they,
my nose
they
broken once, and it was awful.
yeah, they didn't break it, but they damn near broke it.
Bro, my
And
dad
so,
broke my nose when I was a kid, and I swear to God, he didn't do anything to me. But like, obviously, because I was like, you know, because it was like a visitation type thing. Like, it caused like fucking World War III between my mom and my dad because she thought my dad like literally. My dad had a fucking My dad was like fucking crazy, whatever, and he was like borderline like a fucking drifter, crazy, like like one of those people that barely had electricity and shit, right? And he had kerosene lamps like at his old place, and
yeah.
I was laying in like on the couch in like his building or whatever, and he was fucking around with the kerosene lamp, and it was hanging over me, and I was laying flat on my back, and it was like one of those heavy brass kerosene lanterns, and he was
You were
fucking with
getting
it,
the exposure, by the way,
and it
before I
fell off the hook, and it just landed on the fucking bridge of my nose, dude. I was like
It's
10.
just, yeah, my
Fucked me
nose
up.
is swollen. It's not broken, but it's like swollen. So they didn't actually break it. Then I was sitting in a certain place. I won't say where. Uh, and it was the coldest fucking place ever.
Well, when you say
And
that, we know what place it is.
you know what? And they said this is Mexico, and they put my hand up on the they chained my hand to the bar, right? And so, but they chained it so loose that I was able to slip my hand out of whatever they chained it in, right? And so one of the guards came up and he said, I can see you holding it. Like, I know you're not like chained up, right? And I was like, man, can you just like, yeah, you're right. I slipped my hand out because I know how to do that. But can you just take this fucking off me? And he did. But there was a guy in there that had his legs chained around the bars for like 30 hours straight. And so anyway, they let us out at midnight. And it's just like, hey, you're out, go. And you know, they said this was the way to the Otay crossing, but it looked kind of shady. So I just walked to the San Ysidro crossing, and eventually I made it back to Otay. Eventually I made it back to Native Bakes and got another ticket and got home. Like, it was the real gonzo shit. Like, you know I love Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah.
You know.
So why don't you find somebody to like start working with you on something? Because like you're gonna need somebody to help as far as writing a book.
Like, I mean, I'm giving you the cliff notes. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. You need to find somebody.
Most people would tap out. Most people would tap out on this.
You need to find a left-brained person to sit down with you and like make sense of all like the whole deal. If you're gonna do a book, you know what I mean. Have them with the attention to detail and the writing notes.
It's gonna work with me, but like I thought Colombia was wild, and you know, I don't know if he's, again, I'm trying to keep it tight. I don't want to keep you here all night, but like Colombia. So do you know what Tusi is?
Yeah, the drug.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Of course,
it's like a research chemical, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but
I've never done it. I just know what it is.
Yeah, me neither. I never done it. But the girls there love it, and it's ketamine and MDMA, and ecstasy and caffeine. Basically, is it? And there's different versions of it, right? And so of course, I've never done any illegal drugs.
No, it's degenerate.
Yeah, that disgusts me. I would never do that. But imagine you're sitting in a room and everybody's they have different versions of this merch. They have the pink, you know, they call it pink cocaine in the US, but it's just Tusi there. And then they have Coco Chanel, and then they have Azul. And so the Azul like puts you in a fucking trance, basically, like, and like the whole, not me, of course, I didn't do any of this. I want to be clear. I didn't do
of course not.
Of course not. But like the whole room is in a trance. The blue. If somebody in chat knows what I'm talking about. The blue will get you like, holy fucking shit. The blue like puts you in a trance. I took a picture of that one girl. She's super sexy, and they're like, oh, that's a lady girl. That's amazing. No, she's not at all. I fucked her.
No. But here's the thing, Ralph, and I have a theory about this, and I've been yelling at my audience about this lately too. The problem is that the trans movement gained so much steam that now a lot of these niggas got PTSD out here. And everybody's just, it's kind of like the people that came back from Vietnam. They just see Charlie in the bushes everywhere now.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, they're just real flinchy.
I ripped the condom and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, of course, usually I don't care for condoms, but I didn't feel like arguing. So I was like, whatever, I'll just put it on. And I was, attracted to her. So it didn't really affect me, right? Usually it does, and then not to get too graphic, but when I pulled out, the condom was ripped, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like I was like, "I'm about to fucking catch a fucking like rape charge in fucking Colombia," or you know what I mean? Like, oh holy shit! And she was totally cool about it. She's like, "No big deal." And so it was great. And
I don't know if I'd be trying. I think I would. I would not be trying to get pussy in that place. God forbid I fuck the wrong guy's cousin.
You don't understand. Like
and they take me out with a machete in the woods.
They breed them. Like it's wild because again, I was doing no drugs whatsoever. I want to be clear. No
Of
drugs
course
did
not.
I do in Colombia. Not 95% pure cocaine, not Tusi, not blue. I didn't do any of that. I just want to be clear. But I was talking to her mostly through the translation app, and she was like, you know, I don't know. It was kind of weird because she's like, you know, drugs are bad and they're actually a mask for, you know, problems, you know, not mental problems necessarily, but like, you know, self medication, right? And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Clog and all these people, you know, we're like, oh, he didn't even fuck her. Well, no, I fucked her, but like we hung out for like 10 hours. Like I wouldn't call her a hooker, is what I'm saying. I would call her a party girl. Right? Does that
Right.
make sense? Does that make sense? The delineation there. I don't know
Look,
if it
it's
does.
okay to say she's a hooker if you didn't pay for it. It's all good.
Well, but what I'm saying is like it wasn't like that. And you know, I did fuck her, of course, and you know, things happen, but whatever. But like when we have a conversation, she tell me, you know, drugs are bad and da da da. Like I'm not expecting to hear this from this person. And so I put that out on Twitter, and they're like, "Oh, Ralph didn't even fuck her." Da, da, da. Yeah, I did actually, and so you know,
And honestly, who the fuck cares if he did or didn't? Like, I'm 42
nobody,
years
like
old at
that's
this
what
point.
I'm saying. It's fucking crazy, Mersh. That it's
And
stupid.
honestly, like to me, these motherfuckers on the internet, they always crack me up because they're always like, yeah, it's funny. Like some of these people that'll come in and troll me and they'll be like, oh yeah, Mersh acting like he ever got pussy. And I'm like, you know, you make yourself sound, but you make yourself sound like a fucking incel weirdo when you say
You
shit
even
like that.
know how hookers work? Like,
But
I don't.
not even hookers. I'm talking about regular girls. But so many guys are so out of touch, especially these terminally online people that are like, they really think it's a challenge to get pussy. And you're like, nah, women are very easily manipulated. And if you're a funny guy and you can afford to pay for a couple drinks, you pretty much get fucked. Like, it's not the challenge you think it is. So whenever you like say, oh yeah, I bet you couldn't even get laid, it's like anyone can get laid, dude,
Anybody
except
can get
you,
laid if you
apparently.
fucking got a brain. Like
Yeah.
and she was hot, and I took a picture of her, and they're like, "Oh, that's a lady boy." Duh. No, it wasn't. She was super hot. She was super great.
Cog was
The
so bummed you weren't dead. It was really funny.
the thing that killed me, and I'll talk about that in 1 second. I'll get on to that.
By the way,
but
can I ask you one thing? And you don't have to answer it if you don't want to blow up anybody's spot on the air. Did Godwinson know?
no.
No? Okay, so he was being genuine.
He went in. I mean,
Because I gotta be honest, his content about you was very funny.
Like, I mean, he knew, but I didn't tell him, right? Like,
Because
so
his fucking his video, the shit he was posting about you, I was howling. Like I was
yeah,
like, I don't know if he know. Like, and I was like, I don't know if he knows or not. But I'm like, he's being very funny about this if he really
so like
does think Ralph's dead.
he knew, but not for me. And also, like, I mean, dude, if I was dead, motherfuckers would know. Quick.
His fucking bro, his
and
show.
so
By the way,
I'll
shout out to
tell you this-
Godwinson, your choice in song. You know, because a lot of people would have done like, you know, I would have done a different song. Anyone else would have done, but I liked. It was very
No, it's
classy to do a
perfect.
Boys to Men.
No, it was perfect. And then and then Lynx knew too. That's the thing.
Oh, I know. That's why I was laughing when she was like pretending she was mad at you, but then
knew the
later on
whole
she's like, "Well, I knew he was
her.
okay."
No,
I'm like,
look, I'll tell you what happened. I said, Lynx, I'm about to go to Medellin. I said, I'm gonna cancel the Friday show. I want you to act like you haven't heard from me. And you know, we'll go from there. Now it ends up somebody died in Progresso, and like so it turned into, oh, Ralph might be missing to Ralph might be dead, right? Now that wasn't our plan. That was nothing that you know was set up. But she got a ton of publicity off that, and so did I. Quite frankly, I trended worldwide on Twitter, 38,000 tweets. And so
Actually, it did show up in my trending topics, and I giggled.
yeah,
I think I think I was out to eat, and I was
I
like
was
having
legit
dinner, and I was
trending.
just
No, it
scrolling
was
Twitter, and I saw
legit.
Ethan Ralph, and I already knew because I was
You
working.
already know,
Well, I
nigga.
was working my listeners hard. So like
Yeah.
when I saw you were trending, I
Well,
just
you
kind of
knew
giggled in
because
the restaurant. I was like,
why you knew? Can I tell why you knew?
well, yeah, I don't care.
Because I told you.
Well, no, I know. No, and I told as soon as you were back and everybody was like, hey, apparently I already told everybody. Like the minute you were back and everybody's like, oh, Ralph's okay. I was like, all right, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I knew he was all right. I just didn't want to
see, there was a few key people. So Lynx actually was the linchpin, but you and I don't want to throw anybody else's name out there, but there were other people like creators who I said, hey, say you haven't heard from me, say you don't know where I'm at, and they did that. And so you were like one of the keys, because they're like, well, if Merce is saying this, then he must really be, right? Like, so
I went so far at one point that somebody came in my chat and said, nah, this is a work and you're in on it. And I went, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. If this turns out fucking it's a work, then I'm gonna have a real fucking problem with Ralph. I was like, fuck him if this is a work.
You know what's funny is Merce didn't see it till like 24 hours later. And I was like, dude, just work it. And he did. You did it perfectly, honestly.
A couple people were annoyed at me, but I was like, whatever, grow up.
Yeah, man, it was for fun.
If it had been somebody's like wife or kids asking me, I'd be like, all right, yo, shut the fuck up. He's okay. Not. Like, just chill. You know what I mean? But I was like, nah, it's a bunch of internet marks.
I didn't expect, like, it was just supposed to be an MIA, right? It wasn't supposed to be like Ralph's dead. And then this person turned up dead in Progreso Beach. And,
that was perfect timing.
Right? Like, it was perfect timing. And it's like, oh, Ralph might be dead. That might be him. And so it was just supposed to be MIA until I showed up in Colombia. And so, it turned into Ralph might be dead. And then, me and Hunter Moore and TJ and everybody else, we're sitting there, and we were having a good time, I'll just say. And they were tagging the FBI and tagging Colombia, like, police. and Hunter was just like, by the way, God bless Hunter Moore, great guy. God bless TJ. He said, man, can you just put out something saying you're all right? Because like, I don't want to get a door knock. And I don't know if you know how it works in Colombia. I don't want to put him on blast or anything like that. But like, if you overstay your visa, it's no big deal. You just have to pay a fine, right? And so, but like, still, if the police show up, it's not good. And so he said, man, dude, it's getting crazy. They're tagging the FBI. Can you just like say you're okay? And this was like 4 a.m. I don't even know what fucking day it was. And I said, yeah, I can. And so I did. And I did that without Lynx. I think that's why she's like mad at me, honestly. Because like, we're the ones sitting ducks in the house, right? And so it's like, people in the house, and Hunter Moore, this a big ass nigga. Like, he wouldn't, fuck me up or anything, but like, he just asked me, hey, can you just say you're okay? Right? Put out a tweet and say you're okay. And I did. And so, and he called that Lynx was going to turn on me from the start. So I put out a tweet. I said, I'm okay. I'm fine. And so that's how that happened. But like, I didn't actually, I wasn't trying to turn it into a, Ralph's dead thing. It was more like Ralph's MIA.
Oh yeah. No. That was me. I want it on the record that, that was me that was hyping it up. It was me, and it was my, honestly, if anybody wants to blame anyone, it was 50% me and 50% Godwinson.
It's funny because I messaged Mersh. He didn't see it till like 12 to like 18 hours later, and he's just like, "I'm all in."
I gotta read some of these just because some of them are for you.
Any questions, man? I'm down.
Let me see. Social Observer for 5 said, "Hey Ralph, here's the scenario: a huge crate of pure fish scale cocaine washes up on the beach.
No idea.
And you and Mersh have to make a decision. What do you do?"
You have no idea.
Oh, I'm selling it. Yeah, I'm keeping it.
First off, I didn't. First off, for the record, I would never do any cocaine. But if I did,
well, he's saying a big crate washes up on the fucking shore, and we're the only 2 guys standing there.
Cocaine is like 7 to 12 gram, or $7 to $12 per gram for like 90% purity cocaine in Colombia. So.
Yeah, I'm saying if it washed up on shore, I'm just making a phone call.
But you know what's funny is the Tusi is better. Not that I know. I just know what other people told me. The Tusi is actually better than the cocaine. I sent somebody a message, and I won't say who, but I'd never done ketamine before.
I only did it once, and it was by accident, so that's not fun.
Well, I did it, and I said, "God bless." I didn't say that word. I said the other word. I said, "This is like so." If I didn't do any cocaine, but say you did cocaine, right? And then you did the Tusi, especially the blue, the azul, like it's like crazy. And like, you know, people are sitting in the room and like they're all in a trance, and I messaged somebody and no names, and I will never say a name ever, and if any name is said, no, but I said this like wow, you know, it's crazy just by, not because I did it. I want to be clear. I didn't do any.
No, of course not. It's all hypothetical.
Yeah. But I just saw how other people were reacting. And so I was like, man, this ketamine is like, I'd never done it before, never have, even now. So, but I'll just say it was wild, and the girl I fucked that first night, she was like amazing, and it's funny because I was talking to her, and she's just like, drugs are bad. Well, you know. I didn't see her do anything, by the way. I want to be clear. Like, I don't know what she was doing. You know, who knows? But I think maybe she was doing some Tusi or whatever. But she's just like, it's a mask for other problems that you have, which is actually the truth.
Yeah,
right?
that's why I'm fucking pulling my hair out, and I haven't had a drink in 17 days. And I want to fucking blow my brains out.
Self-medication, that's what it is. But I didn't expect to hear this, and I don't want to call her a whore because I don't know. I just don't think that's...
No, but I mean, they're all hoes.
Well, okay, fair, but like, I don't know. I engaged with her. I mean, I fucked her and ripped the condom and came inside her, but like, whatever. But like,
Jesus Christ,
it doesn't matter. Like,
the third alpha male seed is out there now.
Nah, she's on birth control. But like, I don't want to.
Yeah, that's super reliable Colombian birth control.
So I put out this tweet, and I was like up for 50 plus hours, and I could tell you about that in a minute too. But like, I talked to her for so long, and of course we went and fucked, and we had a great time and all that. But like, we talked a lot too. And usually, I would say I won't call her a whore because I think she's nice. Maybe that makes me a simp. I don't know, whatever. But she was like, yeah, drugs, they're fun, they're cool, but like they're actually a mask for, problems, or issues that you have in your own life. And I was like, wow. I didn't expect that to hear that from her. And I put that on Twitter. And maybe I shouldn't have, but like that's literally what it was. Like, and that's what drugs are. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it is a self-medicating thing.
Yeah, no shit.
And
That's why we're all fucking narcissists. We all stream for a living, and then we also
yeah,
all hate ourselves.
but
That's
I
why
couldn't
even now I'm
believe.
not drinking, but I'm popping fucking 7 tabs like they're going out of style.
Yeah, but I couldn't believe it. Like, whore, party girl, whatever you want to call her, and she was talking to me like that, and I was like,
Well, I mean, they
of
could be
course I'll fuck the
people can
shit
be
out of her later, but
self-aware.
like, and then they're like, oh, Ralph just talked to her. Ralph just said no. Ralph fucked her and can't anyway. But I just didn't expect that from her. And she's a really cool girl. I might fly her out to Merida,
Oh
actually.
boy. Oh boy.
Should I do that? What do you think?
I think the internet's going to be very, interested in that if you do. I don't know if that's going to be a great thing.
You know what? I took a picture of her, and they're like, "Oh, that's a ladyboy." No, she's not a ladyboy at all. She's got the fucking tightest. Anyway, and ass crazy. Like, I don't know if she could handle it. Honestly, the only reason I wouldn't do it is because I don't want to see, like, I wouldn't want to see her get caught up in all this bullshit. Honestly,
That's why I never take pictures. I never post on. I don't have these niggas don't know
took
shit
a
about my
picture
real life.
Well, you want to know what happened? I shouldn't tell you this because I was gonna say it for my show, but I've been tapering off Xanax, right? You know that. And so I thought I was tapering fine, but I was up for like 55 hours, and I still don't know if I'm gonna say this, Merge.
Well, let me say this because I know the audience is going to get mad. I'm cucking content, but err on the side of caution. If you don't think you should say it, maybe don't say it. I'm just looking out for you.
I had a seizure.
Ooh.
I hadn't had a seizure in 10 years.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you taper off Xanax and you don't do it correctly, right? And so I had a seizure, and I woke up, and this absolute angel, was taking care of my knee. My knee's still fucked up, by the way. And I talked to her later on that night, and she said your body was fully purple. Because that's what happens, sometimes when you have a seizure. She's like, you're lucky to be alive. And it was nobody there's fault. It was something I already brought in. Like, I was already tapering before I went into Colombia, right? But like, I didn't do it right. And so I had a seizure for the first time in 10 years.
Jesus, man.
And so I apologize to everybody who expected me to do like more IRL content, but like that Tuesday, I had to just sleep pretty much the whole Tuesday because like I needed the rest. And so I apologize, but I woke up and she was smoking a cigarette, I'll say. And she's just like, you're lucky that you made it. Honestly, your whole body was purple. And so she knew. It was like everybody else freaked out. Another friend there grabbed me to keep me from like hitting my head, although I still fucked up my knee. but he grabbed me to keep me from hitting my head, and she put me in the do you know the recovery position? It's like where they take one arm and they put it behind your back, right? Like, I don't know how many people
No.
know what that is, but anyway, she knew. Like, she said, I've taken nursing courses, and I knew exactly what had happened to you, and you're lucky to be alive. And so it's funny because, like, the whole, fake death, quote unquote, thing, I don't think I would die of a seizure, honestly, because
I mean,
you can, but, like, I don't know. It's been 10 years since I had one, and so I had it, and I woke up and I was like, "What's going on?" And this absolute angel, like, I mean, 10 out of 10 angel is tending to my knee and, like, taking care of me, and other people, like, "You okay, bro?" And they all took great care of me. Like, I can't say anything bad about anybody there. They took such great care of me, but that's why I did the Monday show. But, like, we continued to I don't know.
well, here's the thought, and I'm
It
not.
was a party all the way until about noon, well, 11 Tuesday, and then it was seizure, and I had to go to sleep. Like, so, um, you know, to me it's nothing, but to most people it would be like a big deal.
Well, I mean, I get it, but I mean, you're being a bit cavalier about the whole thing, and all I'm gonna say is, have you had after this trip, maybe just a little bit of an inkling that
Yeah,
maybe it's time
man,
to
dude,
shit.
I'm 39 years old.
I'm not saying you need to
Same
fucking.
thing. Like, I can't live like
Well,
this.
I'm saying you don't have to
Right.
fucking change everything overnight, but I mean, maybe just shift down one gear. You know what I mean? Like,
You know what's
maybe
funny is
shift down to fourth or
I
third.
was I was already shifting off it was the Xanax. Like, it
Well, yeah, that
wasn't
shit's
like
the devil.
it was the Xanax, and it was staying up so long. And so, um it wasn't really anything else.
But I
Like,
mean, even in terms, I'm not saying it has to be drug or alcohol related, but the idea of even staying up that long at this age
well,
is
you know
not
what?
like.
Hunter said, "Go to sleep." And a couple other people like, "Nah, let's keep going." And so I should have just went to sleep and I would have been
Yeah,
fine.
it's
But,
called fear of missing out, FOMO. You got to not have
yeah,
that in life.
yeah, I was like, "Let's go. All right,
You've
I'll stay up."
already partied harder than
I
any of those
blasted
people in life,
everybody
so you're not
there, but,
missing anything. Take a
I had a
nap.
fucking seizure. So,
You
yeah,
you
that,
got you
that's
got to see, man. You got to get more. This is why I want to live. This is why I'm trying to get healthier, because you know what? I don't care if we're fucking on fifth gear. Everybody's partying, right? If Daddy wants a nap, Daddy's gonna go take a nap for a little bit, and that's
well,
why when me and Royce, whenever we
other
travel, we
people
have
said,
separate
"Go to
rooms and shit,
sleep,"
because it's
and
like.
there were other people said, "Hey, let's just keep going." And, I don't know.
But
I
yeah,
I,
but
I
they
guess
can keep
it's
going. You get a
ego.
nap,
No,
and then when you
it's
wake up in a
ego.
few hours, they're still going.
It's ego. It's like,
It's
nobody's
almost like not going to bed
gonna.
because you want to keep gambling. In my case, like the casino's going to be here tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I should have just went to sleep and it would have been fine. But, I woke up and, people looking at me like, are you okay? Like, so, some people there had never seen something like that happen, but the girl knew. She had taken nursing classes and she knew exactly what had happened. She put me in the recovery position and she took care of me. And, yeah, so that's why, I shouldn't spill all this in here, but whatever. We're just having an honest conversation.
well, it's a good teaser for Kill Stream, right? When are you back? You're back tomorrow.
Yeah, Saturday, I think. But
Tomorrow? Oh no, today's Friday.
I I should have just went to sleep. But it's okay because I've had those before. But she said, she said your whole body was purple. And I don't know if you know what that means, but like your body shuts down and it closes down like
Oh, I've
things
seen it. I've never had it happen to me, but I've seen it.
things that are not necessary for you to live. And so your skin, your epidermis, turns purple and all this shit. And so anyway,
I think you
it,
need to make an
it,
appointment with a
it
doctor, and I think a doctor needs to wean you off of that shit because that's something that has to be done
but it was
very.
nothing to do. By the way, I want to say this: it was nothing to do with Columbia or Hunter Moore or any of his friends. It had to do with me, right? And so it was none of their fault. I just, you know, didn't wean myself off correctly. And so that shit happened, and I didn't tell anybody because I don't know, whatever. But um it was great until then, and then like I had to go to sleep. Like when you never had a seizure probably, but um it was a mild one. Like I didn't have a headache. Like I just had muscle aches and shit, and I just went to sleep. And then like I couldn't really go out and do things after that. And so I wanted to do that, and so I apologized to people who expected me to like go out
It
and
is what
meditate.
it is, man. You
Yeah,
had
like
a you had a
I just
fucking
didn't.
stutter step. You had a setback, but
I
I mean,
just
now that
couldn't
you're
do it.
back home, you should maybe focus on I don't know, clearing up a little bit, maybe getting the.
Yeah, I agree. And I saw my son after that, and my s- my son, I don't get to see him that often, but he is the light of my life, to be honest with you. And
You gotta make that your motivation, man.
yeah, and so anyway, that happened, and they took great care of me. Everybody there was super cool, and most of them had not seen something like that happen, but like the girl knew exactly what had happened. She's like, he had a seizure, right? Like, and so she's like fixing up my knee. I busted my knee, and all this stuff, and so it was wild. I still had fun. Like, it wasn't really like a serious thing. Like, within 10 hours or so, I was fine. But um that's why I didn't go out in Medellin. So I apologize to everybody for that. And it had nothing to do with anything that happened in Medellin. It was because I was tapering already, and I didn't taper correctly.
So I'm saying,
And
man, you gotta get with a doctor and have them come up with a plan for you to taper off because that shit is not. That ain't something. That's something. If you miscalculate it, brother, it's like
yeah,
I'm still feeling lucky that like I legit thought I was gonna be at risk for the alcohol seizures, but
yeah,
like,
you can have them off that too.
but I'm
Yeah,
like, all right, I'm like I've been looking up all the alcohol shit. Like I didn't know about the thing with your fingernails, like that. Apparently, if you look at the white the white
yeah,
half moons
you're,
at the bottom of your fingernails, if those start to
you're right.
go, you're. And I was like, I was checking those the other day, and I'm like, all right, look, those look healthy. I'm like, all right, I'm not having seizures.
Well, basically, I was
Dude,
trying to outlast.
gambling's harder to quit than booze. I've been having more struggles with gambling.
I was trying to outlast, and it was like, okay, I'm gonna outlast all you motherfuckers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like a challenge almost. And you know, it didn't work out. And that's why the whole Tuesday, like, basically, it was just recovery day, and so Wednesday we just had fun and chilled out. So it was okay. Like I you know
Well,
it
I'm
was
glad you
my
didn't die in Medellin because honestly, that would have been some real fucking boy who cried wolf shit. It would have been like Andy Kaufman shit. Like nobody would believe it because you literally
no,
just
nobody would
announced you were
believe it.
alive.
No,
Be like, we're
nobody
not
would.
falling for this again, Ralph. And they're like, no, he's really dead in Colombia.
Yeah, no, like, oh, he's really dead. No, but she's like, your body was like, your skin was entirely purple from like
Jesus.
head to toe. And so, I kind of took it easy after that, and so I apologize. I wanted to do more in Colombia, and Hunter and TJ and everybody else was super cool, and they and the girls, they took good care of me, and so no blame on them. It was all blame on me. So I don't want to put anything on them at all. It was my fault, really. So but I lived, and
Yeah, dude, you got the stories for it, and you maybe got a little bit more mileage, but the people will forgive
Gonzo
you.
Plus.
And it's
Gonzo Plus is what I called it on Twitter, and it was Gonzo Plus, and the Gonzo Hunter S. Thompson, but um, people took what I said about the girl, like, oh, we talked for hours and hours before I fucked her, and she's just like, yeah, I didn't do any drugs, by the way. I just want to be
of course
clear.
not, guys. No.
These were prescription medications that were given to me by a doctor. But she's just like, they're a cover up for, you know,
Well, yeah, no shit. That's what they've always
medication.
been. That's why they rule.
I didn't expect to hear that from her, right?
Well,
And
you never know.
so
She might have grown up around people that were addicts too and shit. She might have a different attitude on it.
yeah, it was wild though, because I was talking to her, she was like, I don't know what she was doing. I mean, kind of, but she's just like, it's not good. Right? Like, I didn't expect to hear that from her. And this was before.
Look, and that's fine. You guys can stay in touch, but no flying her out. No flying her out. Let's heal the fucking knee and the nose first. Look, we're coming up on an hour, and I got a couple donuts to read, and I'm gonna. No, man, I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad you're home. I'm glad you're safe. But like, you gotta
not mean to talk this
start. Listen, you're in fifth gear. All right, I'm not telling you to become a fucking Mormon tomorrow, but let's shift it down to fourth gear. Yeah.
So I don't die.
Right? Yeah, because I'm shifting it. I'm shifting down to now about second gear for me.
Well, you know what? But I think it was before I left, and you're like, I'm not. I'm getting a little too old for this.
Yeah, man, it's too much for me.
And I was laying in a certain spot in a certain place, and I'm like, I'm too old for this. Like I don't know how many more.
Don't worry, man. Golf's not so bad.
Trips like this I can handle. But it wasn't Colombia though, it was Tijuana when I was thinking this. So Colombia, they took great care of me. Hunter Moore, all these guys are great. I don't want to say anything bad about them. They took great care of me. Tijuana, it was a solo mission, and I fucked that up. But
don't do that one again.
Hunter and all of his friends, took great care of me. So that's all I can say. And it wasn't their fault. Like, I was already tapering off Xanax, right? Yeah. And so one of the dangers off tapering off Xanax is having a seizure. So that's what happened. But yeah, man, it was great. Tijuana, not so great. But I'm alive. I'm alive, nigga.
So what are we doing? Saturday, you said you're coming back for sure, right? What time? What do you got time yet?
I'm thinking 12 p.m.
All right. Well, I'll be I will be there Saturday because I'm not doing shit except fucking clean. I finally got my fucking vacuum and Wi-Fi and shit working again, so I'm gonna be
if you
doing
want to
house
call in,
projects.
I know. By the way, I'm sorry that I barged into your show.
Oh man, it's all good, dude.
So, how's the Rumble Premium stuff working? Like,
Oh, the creator program?
yeah,
It's probably, I mean, it'd be worth it, dude. Like, I haven't earned any money on it yet because I didn't, so I let Royce and Virgie be the canary in the coal mine sort of thing because I was like, I'm not paying for premium, like, till I see what they're paying out. And obviously, it's their money, so I'm not going to blow up their spot, but let's just say it was worth it. They got paid pretty good from it. So then I was like, oh, so I signed up, but it took me a month to get approved. So I just got in now. So I don't know what I'm going to earn, but it's, from what I'm seeing, it's worth it. It's enough money just to sign up for. It's worth the $10 a fucking month. The only problem is you have to do 5 hours of premium streaming, and yeah, you just do that like some bonus shit. Doesn't matter. But look, I got a couple donuts to read, and I'm gonna hop off here. Kill stream Saturday.
And Merce, I want to say this. People, first off, you're one of the funniest motherfuckers on the internet, period. And so, like, when I see people,
I'm in the top 5,000.
Now you're in the top 5. And so I see people talking shit, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. They're just haters. And you've always been good to me, and thank you for letting me on tonight. Sorry for the technical problems, but
that's fine, man.
I appreciate you. You've always been cool. You've come on my show too, and so just thank you, man. And I want to be here 10 years from now talking to you. Does that make sense?
Of course, man. So we're gonna get it down to 4th gear.
Yeah, we gotta shift it down a little bit.
All right, man. We'll see you Saturday. Thanks for coming on, man.
All right, brother.
Thank
Peace
you, man.
out.
Later, brother. All right, the great Ethan Ralph. Glad he's all right, but